When you think of the richest people ever, your mind may conjure images of Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. But compared to this man, their wealth is peanuts. Mansa Musa's wealth adjusted to inflation would be way over 400 billion. So how did the founder of one of the largest empires in history live? And what happened to him and his fortune? Welcome to my channel. And today let's find out what happened to the richest man who ever lived. Mansa Musa was born in the year 1280 in the African kingdom of Mali. His father, Mansa, became ruler of the Mali Empire in 1255 after defeating the neighboring king of Ouagadougou. The Mali Empire was located in West Africa, and by the time Mansa Musa took over, it had already become one of the biggest empires in the region. Rulers of the empire were known as Mansa, which means king or emperor in the local language. But Mansa Musa didn't just inherit a prosperous kingdom. He inherited a gold mine, literally. The Mali Empire was sitting on more gold than the rest of the world combined. In fact, the amount of gold pouring into Mali from its mines could not be consumed by the local population. So the price of gold started falling. And when gold becomes cheap, everyone wants it. In the year 1307, Mansa set out on a pilgrimage over 4,000 miles to the Mecca. He assembled an army of 60,000 men and women for the journey, each of them equipped with gold to trade on the way. The massive influx of gold into the markets along his route caused the value of gold to plummet as much as 25%. The impact of the Mali's gold on the European market is something we will discuss later. For now, let's focus on the impressive feats that Mansa accomplished during his pilgrimage. To protect travelers along the way, Mansa gifted gold generously to all passers-by. In exchange, he asked them to protect his caravan on their way back. This ensured that the pilgrims could travel safely without being robbed or attacked. At least that was the plan. But in reality, there were incidents of robbery and murder within the caravan itself. While traveling through the desert, Mansa Musa set up camps for his massive convoy to rest. These camps stretched as far as the eye could see and provided shelter for people of all religions along the way. It is said that even rival kings who joined the pilgrimage were given positions of responsibility in the caravan. In fact, the caravan was so big that it took 2 months to complete the journey. When Mansa reached Mecca, he lavished gold on all passers-by and visitors to the holy city. In fact, he gifted so much gold, it practically became worthless for a while. After finishing his pilgrimage, realizing what he had done to the economy of the region, Mansa started to buy back the gold for exorbitant amounts of money. This allowed him to make huge profits and spread Islam further. He also built mosques and universities across the lands he traveled through, thus spreading the knowledge of the Islamic faith. On his way back, Mansa decided to take a detour and visit the great city of Timbuktu. Situated at the edge of the Sahara Desert, the city was a major trading center at the time. However, the city was plagued with violence and lawlessness. To restore order, Mansa Musa sent his general, Tyre, to put down rebellions and establish peace. With peace restored, Mansa set about making Timbuktu the center of scholarship and trade in Africa. He invited scholars and students from all over to study in the newly built Sankore University. It is said that Mansa wanted to make Timbuktu the intellectual capital of Africa. And in a short time, the city flourished like never before. Under Mansa's rule, Timbuktu grew into a cosmopolitan city with people from many different backgrounds living together. The city's reputation as a center of learning drew students from all over the world, including Europe. Libraries and universities were established, and mosques and colleges were constructed. Soon, Mansa set his eyes on conquering the rest of Africa. With his massive army, he went undefeated in war and added vast territories to the Mali Empire. He fought against the kingdoms of Songhai, Ghana, Bor, Kenidu, Teodor, and many others. While other African kingdoms resisted, the rulers of some succumbed to his power and converted to Islam. The spoils of Mansa's conquests included gold, ivory, salt, kola nuts, and slaves. Although Mansa ruled over millions of people, he never forced them to convert to Islam. Instead, he let them practice whatever religion they wanted. He also promoted trade between Africa and the Middle East, Asia, and Europe. In fact, most of the gold brought to Europe during the Middle Ages came from the Mali Empire. At its peak, the Mali Empire produced 75 tons of gold every year, which is worth nearly $3 billion today. The wealth generated through trade made the Malians the richest people in the world at the time. In fact, Mansa Musa was considered the richest man ever. By the year 1324, Mansa ruled over 1/4 of the entire continent of Africa. His empire extended from the Atlantic Ocean to the Niger River and southwards towards the jungles. It is estimated that at least 50 million people lived under the flag of Mali, which is almost half of the population of Africa today. With such vast lands to rule, Mansa appointed governors to oversee different regions of the empire. These governors collected taxes and tributes from the people and sent it to the royal treasury. To facilitate trade, Mansa standardized weights and measures across his empire, which helped merchants and traders conduct business easily. However, Mansa's efforts to bring the entire continent under one roof did not work out. As soon as he died in the year 1337, the empire began to crumble. The governors, who were appointed to keep the empire running, took advantage of the young and inexperienced successors of Mansa and declared themselves independent rulers. This led to the collapse of the centralized administration system that held the Mali Empire together. Without a strong central authority, the empire disintegrated into small kingdoms, which eventually fell to the neighboring Songhai Empire. Soon after, the mighty Mali Empire vanished from the face of the earth. Even though the Mali Empire no longer exists, there are still myths and legends associated with it. People believe that Mansa Musa hid some of his treasure in a secret location, but no one knows where. There are rumors that somewhere in the deserts of Mali lies a cave filled with gold, jewels, and precious artifacts. Some believe that the treasure is cursed and anyone who tries to steal it will suffer terrible misfortune. Others say that the treasure can only be found by those who are worthy. According to legend, the entrance to the cave is hidden behind a waterfall and only appears when the moon is full. Many have searched for the lost treasure, but none have ever returned to tell the tale. What we do know is that Mansa loved construction projects. During his reign, he built numerous mosques, universities, palaces, and libraries across his empire. One of his most impressive feats was the construction of the Niani Mosque, which was the largest mosque in the world at the time. It is said that the mosque was so massive that it could fit 100,000 worshippers inside. Unfortunately, the mosque was destroyed several times throughout history, but it continues to be rebuilt to this day. Another impressive structure built by Mansa was his palace in the city of Timbuktu. The palace was made of ivory and gold and was considered to be the most luxurious residence in Africa. It is said that the palace walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting scenes from the Quran and the stories of the prophets. Sadly, the palace was looted and destroyed by rival kingdoms, leaving nothing but ruins behind. One of the most fascinating aspects of Mansa's life is the shroud of mystery surrounding his death. Some sources claim that he died of a snake bite while others say he contracted malaria. However, there is no historical evidence to support either claim. In fact, no one knows for sure how Mansa died. Some historians believe that Mansa was poisoned by his own brother, Musa II, who wanted to take the throne for himself. However, this theory is not widely accepted by historians and there is little evidence to support it. Ultimately, the circumstances surrounding Mansa's death remain a mystery. As we wind down our journey through the life of the richest man who ever lived, it's important to consider the lasting impact of Mansa Musa's legacy. Despite the fall of the Mali Empire, his contributions to African history and culture continue to be celebrated to this day. Mansa's commitment to education and scholarship helped to lay the foundation for future generations of African intellectuals. His efforts to promote trade and commerce across the continent also had a lasting impact on the development of African economies. And although the secrets of his lost treasure remain buried, the legend of Mansa Musa continues to inspire awe and wonder. So what do you think? Did you find the story of Mansa Musa interesting? What other historical figures would you like to learn more about? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Thanks for watching.